Hi, it's Sue Bishop from Care College. This is my new program. It's going to be called Metaphysics Moments. So I'm just going to give really short, maybe 5-minute long YouTubes about metaphysical topics and the paranormal, and perhaps a few other outside topics such as numerology, astrology, tarot. I do specialize in metaphysics, parapsychology, transcendence, which is higher wisdom learning, 7 ways. I teach angelic healing, numerology, tarot, astrology, mediumship, and a few other topics. So I tend to have a broad base of knowledge, which I'd love to share with you. So for today, I thought we'll start with the concept of dimensional chakras. Now, a lot of people work with the concept of the 7 main chakras, which is really important because they do form the fundamental stepping stones from the lower self to the higher self and the awakening process. And I know there's a lot of people out there that talk about 22 chakra system and beyond. A lot of these chakras do not hold seats of consciousness per se. They're much more collective, and unless you work with the universal self or beyond in your mindset, they're really not really that relevant until you can actually integrate a high level of energy, which, to be honest, quite a few people can actually do when they first start the metaphysical journey. So we're going to look at just going down the 7 chakras, because a lot of people do know about the 7 chakras, and look at the concept of the dimensional chakras. Now, what's the difference between a dimensional chakra and a chakra? Well, even though they're both given names chakras, the dimensional chakras don't really act like the 7 main chakras, so they do not hold a seat of consciousness for the individual self. So we've got the lower self and the higher self, which really work with the 7 main chakras. But beyond your higher self, you actually have what we call a universal self, the transcendent self that hovers between your soul and your spirit, which actually stays in the astral, which contains all the past lives you've ever had and aspects of you that live in different dimensional realities or in different galaxies. You're that universal. So it's kind of like we need an interface between the higher self and the universal self, and this is where the dimensional chakras step in. Now, the type of consciousness that a dimensional chakra allows you to access is more universal self and cosmic, or going into the realms of collective consciousness, not just from this realm but intergalactic consciousness. So we need a filtering system, a portal, so to speak, for information from these realms to enter into our soul consciousness. The way I would look at a dimensional chakra is, at a fundamental level, it's a filtering system. And by that I mean it acts like a portal. So you've got these 10 filters on the spiritual body, so on the outer periphery of your aura. And they kind of like filter time and space. So we know that in the 3D world, the time-space continuum is predominant. But once we get into the metaphysical world, the time-space continuum kind of like moves out of the picture. But we need portals that hold us into this time and space. For example, gravity stops you from falling over, but it's the Earth star, which is one of your dimensional portals, it's about 30 to 60 centimeters beneath your aura, actually locks you into this time continuum. So it locks you into, presently, 2020, into the 3D world. The other ones work at moving you through different ray consciousness, different planetary consciousness, and connecting with different beings, whether they're angelic guides, interdimensional beings of another nature, or even ETs. So we do have these wonderful filters, but until we understand how to work them, if we open them up, it's like having an ayahuasca or DMT trip, where you suddenly interface with different realities, and it can be a bit overwhelming unless you understand what is going on. So these filters, these little portals, so to speak, hold you in the here and now, but they're active when we do psychic work. They're active when we take psychedelics. They're active during certain planetary alignments and even with certain Earth consciousness shifts. But they also hold an archetypal field of energy. They'll hold what we call Sephrioth energy. Those of you that do know the Kabbalah will know the Tree of Life. Well, if you imagine interfacing the Tree of Life over the aura and arrange the 10 Sephrioths over that, you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Later on, I might put a photo to help you conceptualize it. We do have an 11th portal, and that is called Dat. And it remains kind of hidden or inactive until the other dimensional chakras have been opened and utilized and integrated. So it's pretty much dormant. I mean, it is what we call the abyss, but that's kind of like crossing through the void into, it's kind of like moving into the black hole, the center of a galaxy, really. It's the most unique experience and the most enlightening. But we do have these 10 active filters, each held by a Sephiroth, each responsible for bringing different substrates of consciousness and accessing different worlds, so to speak. You may have heard of the Earth Star. That is the fundamental. The Sephiroth that guards that is Malkuth, which represents the kingdom. And it's how you actually lock in, not just into the Earth, but bring down the highest levels of cosmic consciousness, which has to be downloaded, integrated through the other Sephrioths into your chakras, then down into the Earth to actually be fully integrated into you. I'll talk separately on the Earth Star in another video I'll make. A lot of people just go, oh, it's at the bottom of the aura, but they don't realize what it's made up of. The 4 elementals, the earth, water, fire, air elemental. And on the inner periphery, we do have a small amount of Thala, Akasha, and Ether, which is the universal elements that rule the upper chakras, because it has to be an integrated system, so it has to have access to all the chakras. The next one is the base chakra, and that's ruled by Yesod. You've got the sacral chakra, which is ruled by Hod. The solar plexus is ruled by Meshtash. Sorry, my pronunciation is not the best. We have Jabura, which rules the heart chakra, chesed, the throat, Bina for the third eye, Chokmah for the crown, Keter, which is for the transpersonal flow. So that's 3 spinning silver discs, that's 30 to 60 centimeters above the crown chakra. And they come like our little regulators of how much universal consciousness or information outside of the 3D world we can allow in. So the smaller the disc, or the more retracted, then the less we're going to pick up, and the more expansive those discs, the more we're going to pick up. And they rule by Thalat, Akasha, and Ether. So Thalat, Akasha, Ether are the elements for the higher self chakras. So Keter is there, but then we have Tiferet, which is the soul star. Now, for those that don't know where the soul star is, I know there's lots of different concepts on the soul star. Some people will say it's way up there, and the way I've been shown is that the soul star actually sits on the outer periphery of the spiritual body, and it will hover over the heart, and form a diamond shape down into the solar plexus and into the throat chakra, front and back. So we've got this diamond kind of shape, and it's an energetic link that we have to our spirit up in the cosmos. So whenever we want to actively move into our higher self, then into our universal self, and then touch base with that, we need a portal, an access, an energy cord that links us in. It's there, but most of the time our awareness of it isn't active. And then we have, as I said, the one here, dark. So that's the essential archetypal energies that sit alongside or interface onto these portals. Now, they're paths to higher awareness. They are paths to your universal self. So once you've mastered the 7 chakras, you can look at the concept of working with the dimensional chakras, but understand that their roles are slightly different. For example, you would think that the pod, which is over the sacral chakra. So if you imagine on the spiritual body over the sacral chakra, now dimensional chakras are quite fluid. They'll hold a central point, but they can move around the surface of the spiritual body, which, as you know, is your soul. So you'd imagine that that one there will then be filtering in energy from Neshtash and the lessons of Neshtash, but hold the qualities of the sacral chakra, which is the emotional world. But actually it holds the solar plexus energy, and the solar plexus actually holds, which is Neshtash, will hold the sacral. So it's kind of like they're taking reverse roles, and there's a reason behind that. So suddenly the sacral chakra through Hod takes on the world of form through words, so to speak. That's where ritual magic comes in, and manifestation is actually through the sacral, because we're using words and thought structures as a platform for manifesting. And the solar plexus through Neshtash actually takes on the emotional realm. So if you can imagine the two interfacing like a universal figure 8, they're working in tandem, but they're taking on the chakra qualities of the opposite chakra. So sacral takes on solar plexus takes on sacral. If we move to the heart and throat, again, there's the reversal. Third eye and crown, there's the reversal. It may seem a little bit strange at the moment to conceptualize that if you've just been working with the 7 chakras. But bit by bit, if you start to understand your dimensional chakras, it does open up a new scope to your psychic abilities, but more importantly, a new scope to your sense of self-awareness, and it then moves up that leg to the universal self, which is a part of you that's doing collective consciousness. The part of you is working on a universal level, interfacing with spirit guides and other energetic beings at a level that your conscious mind not be aware of until you've learned to connect with that universal self. But that's another lecture. Anyhow, so today I just want to touch base on a part of us that a lot of people don't work with. These videos are designed to be maybe 5-10 minutes long, so I can't go into too much detail. But down the track, I will expand on these things. Anyhow, so that is the dimensional chakras. If you want to find out more about it, I'll later on post a link to my website, to my email, and you can ask. My students often ask me certain questions, so sometimes they will come up as a theme on my Metaphysics Moment blog on YouTube. Thank you for your time, and I hope that this topic has helped you understand the concept of dimensional chakras. Thank you. Bye.